Hello and welcome. This is Kurt Stubbs, the Vice President of CrossRoads Elite. Today is the day everybody's been waiting for. We are going to officially unveil the rosters for the 2015 CrossRoads Elite Invitational, which will be held on June 25th and June 26th in Indianapolis, Indiana. That will be at the ISSA. And today we are fortunate to be joined by the founder of CrossRoads Elite, Adam Shoulders, who is live with us from the 907 in Eagle River, Alaska. Adam, what's going on today, man?
Hey, not much, Kurt. Good to be with you. Good to talk a little hoops and get this roster revealed to everybody.
Adam, we're only less than 2 weeks away from the camp. Obviously, this is the cram time. We're trying to get everything done. For those people that are kind of maybe new to the camp scene, what can you tell us about the CrossRoads Elite Invitational?
Well, it's a 2-day camp, June 25th, June 26th, for some of the nation's top rising high school freshmen and rising high school sophomores. And we bring them together for training, games, and put them in front of some of the best scouts, and including ESPN.com, Scout.com, Rivals. One of their Indiana site, Pigs, will be there as well, and USA Basketball will be there one of the days. Coach Showalter will be there on that Friday, running the clinic in the morning. And then Thursday morning, the first day of camp, Terry Drake, a professional trainer out of Birmingham, Alabama, will be running the camp on Thursday morning. So it's just an opportunity for those guys to play with some of their the best kids in their age group from around the world.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, as far as obviously we're going to be releasing the rosters here today. How do you go about, or obviously I know, but tell the people how we kind of went about selecting and inviting kids to the camp.
Well, based over the past few years, you and I have been out on the circuit. We saw a lot of these guys when they were in middle school and tracked them, followed them all the way up. And then this past year, you and I went to high school and middle school events, and then AAU events this spring, as recent as this past month, and evaluated guys. And then we extended invitations based on our evaluations. And, as you know, some people accepted the invitation, some people didn't. And we take the best ones that we can get. And those are the guys we roll with for the camp. It is invitational only, though. I mean, we take, only those guys that we've handpicked, for the event.
And I would say just knowing you over the years, probably your niche and the niche of this camp is finding those guys that may not be top of the list guys right now, but in the next 2 or 3 years could be, top 25, top 50 type prospects.
Yeah, hopefully we get a lot of the stars of tomorrow, guys that'll be playing on your television screen in a few years in the month of March. And hopefully those guys, this will be a good stepping stone for them. And hopefully we can put them on the right road toward success, toward a college scholarship, and getting them in front of the right people that can create new opportunities for them that they might not have had otherwise if they wouldn't have come to the camp.
And Coach Showalter, as you mentioned, one of the camp clinicians, is it currently in Argentina trying to win another gold medal? Would that be correct?
Yeah, he's down there trying to win. I think it's, what is it, like 7th gold medal?
Something. I mean, he gets it done every time he moves around the world.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to having him. He's a very good teacher on and off the court. I mean, he emphasizes the right things and doing it the right way. And we're looking forward to have. We're privileged to have someone as high level as he is, as high level of coach, to have him come in and just even be a part of our camp.
Well, Adam, let's without any further ado, let's start looking at these rosters and kind of give everybody a format of how we're going to do this. We'll put the rosters up there, and obviously you guys will be able to read those rosters, and we'll kind of just talk a little bit about some of the guys that we see in that group of kids that may stand out to us at the time being. So here is the first group of kids for the 2015 CrossRoads Elite Invitational, and we'll move this thing down until we hit all the kids. But if you look there, anything that you see in that group of kids, Adam?
Well, let's keep scrolling down. Let's reveal the rest of the rosters, and then we'll come back to the top.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. So if we just kind of scroll down here, and we'll keep it going, you can see the names coming up. And Adam, while we're doing this, about how many kids do we have coming?
157, I believe, the last count that I had. I mean, that's the final. The roster that you're looking at right there is the final roster, and we're not taking any late entrants or people at the door. It's all closed up shop now, and probably have a little bit more than we were expecting. But in order to get everybody that we wanted to get in, we had to go over our limit a little bit this year. But I think the total was 157 on there.
And when you're doing these camps, and we've done enough of them now, that you first think, oh man, we're never going to have enough kids to fill this camp. And then, as we always say, what happens, Adam?
The floodgates open, and it always comes right there, at the last minute. It seems like right before camp, you fill out the whole roster, and we're growing. I think our name is getting out there more every year. From the first year, a couple of years ago, ESPN.com covered it since we've done it. And I think that's helped it grow a lot. And then Ty Kish did a lot of really good videos for City League Hoops. So I think as the word gets out, more and more people are wanting to get into the camp. And, that raises the level of competition.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in the first years there, you mentioned Ty Kish, and he really did us some solids for a couple of guys that were just kind of jumping into this. And, he ended up with some big time videos coming out of that we really didn't expect.
Sure. The Manute Bowl's son, Bowl at our first camp in Indianapolis that we did for middle school guys, which that was before we started doing the rising high school freshmen and rising high school sophomores. Bowl had the video in the 7th grade, that went viral. I think the Washington Post did articles on it, USA Today. So, I mean, there was a lot of interest surrounding the camp at that point, and I think that definitely helped the camp take off. And then we found our niche right here in these incoming freshmen and incoming sophomore age groups. That's kind of our niche. And, it's a good stage for these guys, and it's a good start to the whole process.
Well, we've made it to the end of the roster. Now we can kind of go back up to the top. You kind of threw me a curveball there, but that's all right. I'm used to it from you. So if we look at this first group of kids here, I can see some guys that I know for sure that you're.
Is a kid that is he came to our camp last year in Nashville, and he was about 6'4" at the time. Now he's 6'8", going into his sophomore year, and can shoot the ball, and looks like he's got a lot more growing, filling out to do. And he's a skilled kid. Once he starts to fill out physically and mature, he could really make some noise. He's from my hometown, Plainfield, Indiana, so I'm definitely interested to see how he's going to do. And a couple other names on at the top there. Karan Brayboy from Glencoe, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, will attend New Trier High School. He's a guy that I think could come in and really surprise some people. A 2019 kid that plays up on the 15 and under level as a on the AAU circuit. So
A couple of names I see there. Antoine January is a kid I think a lot of people are going to like. You got Jonte Porter, who's kind of stepping out of the shadows of his older brother, Michael Porter, one of the top 2017 kids across the country, also a CrossRoads Elite alum. We've had Jonte before, but he's definitely really blossomed over the last couple of years now, about 6'9", a lefty. Jalen Thomas, a kid from Toledo St. John's, a 2019 kid who plays for the family out of Michigan. I think he's going to be a high-level prospect in Ohio's class of 2019.
I think dad is 6'10", mom 6'3", so he's going to be – he's got a lot of growing left to do. And what size shoe did you say he was wearing?
Oh, man, it's a boat, man. I mean, you could – you could ski on those things.
Sure. Yeah, he's a great looking prospect, I know. So that was a great find by you at the Spiece Run and Slam tournament and also the King James tournament up in Akron.
So moving the roster down a little bit, there's a next group of kids. Definitely Brayton Bailey, kid jumps right out. If you're a Indiana basketball historian, fan, junkie, one of the few 2020 kids. Anytime you get a chance to take a kid of Brayton Bailey's pedigree, father Damon Bailey, considered by many to be the greatest high school basketball player in Indiana history. So we're pretty excited to have him. Israel Barnes is a kid I know you're really excited about. High major kid out of Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, he'll be going to Sunrise Christian there in Wichita. And I think Wichita State has put the city of Wichita on the map as far as basketball goes. And I think Israel Barnes is ready to prove they've produced some pretty good prospects themselves. And looking forward to seeing him. I know Ja Blevins is another guy on that list that played on the All-Ohio Black team, which is considered to be their B team. And you had a chance to watch him at the Run and Slam in Fort Wayne and felt like he might have been snubbed from that All-Ohio Elite team.
Yeah, straight score. I mean, the kid is going to gets buckets every time he steps on the floor, and he's going to very experienced high school team that's expecting big things there at John Glenn High School. I know a kid that probably jumps out at you is Jerron Boogie Coleman, a kid from Cathedral.
Yeah, he's got a lot of upside. I think once he finishes growing and maturing, he's really long. He's I think 6'4" right now, and is a guard. He can pass. He's got a good feel for the game. Can shoot it. But I think his best basketball is probably ahead of him, and will definitely be one of the better kids in the state of Indiana for that 2018 class, and made an impact on varsity as a freshman at Cathedral, and should be a good one.
Perry Cohen, another kid that we were ecstatic to accept to the camp.
Yeah, he's largely considered to be one of the top prospects in the state of Illinois for that 2019 class, and plays for the Illinois Wolves program, a very respected program ran by Mike Mullins. And he's 6'2". He'll be attending DePaul Collegiate Prep, and a 2019 guy that I'm sure will give some of the 2018 guys a run for their money at the camp. So really looking forward to seeing where he stands. And hey, as we're talking about all these guys, I mean, ultimately they're all going to have to come out and compete. And hopefully, we might not mention everybody by name right now, but hopefully they can come out and make us pay attention at the camp. And it's no slight to them that we're not mentioning them. We're just trying to hit the highlights of some of the guys that we've seen this spring that have really made an impact and impressed us. But the camp's the opportunity. All preconceived notions go out the window, and they compete for those couple of days, and that's what we base our opinion on, is their performance there for a couple of days. And I hope everybody knows that.
Well, I moved the roster down. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Tim Finke out of Champaign, Illinois?
Well, he's a really good player. He plays for Gavin Sullivan on the AAU circuit with the Illinois Irish program, and a 6'5". He goes to Champaign Central High School in Champaign, Illinois. His older brother, some people might know, was a prospect himself. I think a little bit taller, about 6'8", and attended Illinois University. And I think he's still there at Illinois playing for Coach Gross. But yeah, Finke is definitely a guy that I'm sure will be in the conversation for one of the camp's top prospects.
So as we move down there, I see Romeo Langford popped up onto the screen there, 6'4" guard out of New Albany, Indiana, New Albany High School. I know he is a real hot name, not only in Indiana, but, all over the Midwest.
Yeah, largely, a lot of people think he's the best kid in that 2018 class in the state of Indiana. So, plays 16 and under with the Eric Gordon All-Stars, and is one of their best players as a freshman or rising sophomore playing up on that team. So, I know there some people that are involved with him were also involved with D'Angelo Russell, and they say he's got a lot of those same traits. He's got, I think, a 6'11" wingspan, but he's going to be a super talent in that 2018 class, and probably will be, a top kid in the country as well. And hopefully, this will be a good stage for him to come out and prove that.
So as we continue to scroll here, you look at that next group of names there.
Yeah, hit some of those. I know there's Giovanni Miles is a guy that you had originally thought he was playing up on a 15 under team, and I know you originally thought he was a 2018 guy and thought he was good then, and then when you found out he was a 2019, you even thought even more highly of him. I mean, what's the story on him for power out of a power stroke program?
Yeah, I mean, it's just obviously, power stroke is not, a household name around the country, but I really like the kid. He's got a pretty good basketball IQ for a kid that age. He's got a pretty good body already. Good playmaker. When I was watching him, thinking he's a 2018 kid, I thought he was pretty good at that point. But finding out he's 2019, that changes the game a little bit. So looking forward to seeing, what he does out in Indianapolis on a bigger stage. Not to slight power stroke by any stretch of imagination, but just seeing how he goes up against some of the elite guards around the country.
Yeah, Travion McCray is another name on there from Timmonsville, South Carolina. He was an all-state player as a freshman and put up some really good numbers in a small town, but still a very talented kid from South Carolina that will be coming to camp. Couple others on there. Damani McIntyre, I know, plays for the Indy Hoosiers 15 under team. and is a really good defender, which we will definitely be emphasizing defense at the camp. So it'll be good to see that, and definitely will reward guys that defend. So uh,
I see a couple of
he
guys there, couple of guys towards the bottom there, Adam. Trey Valor, Dwayne Washington Jr. play for the Michigan Mustangs Valor team. Dwayne Washington Jr. Father played in the NBA, played at Middle Tennessee State, so he's got the
Where did his dad play at?
He played at Middle Tennessee State. He's got the bloodlines. He kind of, I mean, just looking at him, he kind of looks like a young Steph Curry. No, we're not getting wild here and saying he's the next Steph Curry, but if you just kind of looked at him, he does have that look to him. And then moving down there, Joe Wieskamp, definitely a kid we're excited about. Plays for that talented 2018 Barnstormer team. We got him kind of late in the process, but definitely excited to have him. Anything else you see there?
There's a lot of good names on there. I think keep scrolling down here. We can show some people some of these names. Brandon Wade from Ann Arbor Skyline High School plays for the Michigan Gators. His dad is his high school coach. He's a really good player. I know he went to the University of Michigan camp and played well there, and then also at the Six Deep camp played well there, and very good at getting to the rim. Combo guard.
I know some guys. I know there's some heavy hitters on here that you've been talking about quite a bit. You got Darius Bean out of Carbondale, Illinois, a 6'3" point guard. Joe
Played
Cooper,
under team.
Right. Joe Cooper, 5'10" point guard out of Memphis, Tennessee. Jerome Francis III, probably better known as Jeremiah Francis, plays on that talented 2019 All-Ohio team. Father played at Ohio State, storied Columbus Worley High School that's now defunct. He'll attend Pickerington Central. AJ Green, a kid I know that we're both excited to have. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about him?
AJ Green?
Yeah.
Well, his dad is the assistant coach at Northern Iowa University, and he plays with the Iowa Barnstormers on the same team as Joe Wieskamp, the Iowa commit, recent Iowa commit. And like you said, he's not a guy that you initially look at and you stands out as far as the look test goes, or the what's it called, the all airport team, when you're walking in the airport and you see a guy and you figure he's a good player.
Yeah, I never made that team.
Me neither. So he's a guy that you got to evaluate over the past, over the course of a game, and see. He's just an extremely good basketball player, high IQ, good leader. As far as making the right he's a playmaker, and he's skilled. So I mean, definitely a coach's son, and you can tell that. And he's definitely not done growing. I mean, he's not hit his spurt yet, and hasn't even physically matured yet. So once he does, and all of that comes together, I mean, if he goes to play for dad at Northern Iowa, they'll have a good one.
Looking farther down, Ethan Hazelrig, a kid that kind of under the radar guy, will attend the same high school as Jeremiah Francis, ultra competitive kid. Sam Maston, I think he's going to turn some heads out of Rock Canyon High School there in Colorado. Jordan Mitchell, obviously a big-time prospect out of Gahanna, Ohio, 6'6". He'll go to Lincoln High School, where Nick Ward is currently at. I know you've been a big fan of Sam Maston.
Yeah, smart kid, really talented. Got some plays with a lot of confidence at the guard position, and I think he'll come out from Colorado looking to make a name for himself nationally. And you know, looking forward to seeing him. Isaiah Sleepy Payton was another name on there from Moeller High School. He was one of our campers last year and really played well, even though he was one of the younger guys there last year going into his freshman year. And we think this year, he'll be a guy that has, made a lot of improvements, from last year's camp. So it's always good to see guys that come to camp last year come back this year and see how they do.
Absolutely. I mean, that year's growth process with these kids is just unbelievable, especially those guys that, are um, constantly working at their craft. So
For
this
sure.
next bunch of guys here, obviously all these group of kids, there's so many talented players. Gabe Kauscher, kid you've been raving about to me over the last month or so.
Yeah, he plays. He's 6'4", long wing, can really shoot the ball. Plays for the D1 Sports team, Adidas on the Adidas Gauntlet for the 15 and under division, and I know he's already getting a lot of interest up there. I know U of M has shown interest. He goes to De La Salle High School in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I think they went to the state championship. They might have won the state championship in the state of Minnesota, and as a freshman, he was one of their leading impact guys, and we're looking forward to having him come all the way from Minnesota, and I'm sure he'll be there and make a name for himself.
Warren Washington, a 6'8" small forward out of California. Another kid that we're pretty excited about.
Sleeper. 6'8", but he's really more of a small forward. I mean, I guess there's kind of a cool story. His dad was a tutor. He went to Kansas University at Lawrence, and back in the late 80s when they had Danny Manning and the Miracles, and he was a tutor for Danny Manning and some of the different guys on that team. And so his dad has been around some really good basketball players growing up. I think he played at Hutchinson Community College in Kansas, one of those top JUCOs. And Warren, the son, is definitely a sleeper with a lot of upside from out in Escondido, California, making the trip all the way from the West Coast. So I know he'll be coming out to compete. He's not making that trip for no reason. So.
And that ND you see there, that's not a typo. That is North Dakota. 6'6" wing, Deshaun Allen, Demezi Anderson, and Keon Brooks, a couple of Indiana kids. Demezi Anderson out of South Bend plays for LaFonso Ellis's AAU team. Keon Brooks, a 2019 kid that was at our camp last year that was basically 2 years younger than everybody else at the camp, and you would have never known. Cale Catchings, that name might jump out to you. So what do you know about Cale Catchings, Adam?
Well, I think we found out through Twitter that's Tamika Catchings' nephew. And
She could play a little ball.
Yeah, very, very, very good professional women's player there for the Indiana Fever. And we're looking forward to having him. He's also another one of the St. Louis Eagles 15 and under players. We definitely have a good relationship with those guys. Pee Wee Leonard has been real helpful sending some of those St. Louis Eagles guys to our camp. And it's a very, it's a Nike program that's produced some good players in the past. Bradley Beal, Ben McLemore. So we're looking forward to having some of those guys. And Cale Catchings is one of them.
Shamar Dillard, another kid there on the list, AAU teammate there with Demezi Anderson.
And high school. They go to the same high school as well.
At Riley High School. Trey Edwards, a kid that's not really on the radar at all, a kid from Ontario, Canada.
You don't find much when you Google that guy, do you?
No, just by chance I was able to see him live, and
Where did you see him at?
I saw him at the King James Shooting Stars Classic back in April. I was really impressed. I think, as you always say, his best ball is ahead of him. And then there's Walter Ellis. That would be LaFonso's son, former NBA player, Notre Dame star, another kid out of South Bend, Indiana. Jerome.
I thought they only played football in South Bend. What do we got all these basketball players coming from South Bend?
Well, despite the national championship run, they haven't been playing real good football down there for a while now. Jerome Hunter, a kid that was at our camp last year.
He better come out and redeem himself. I know last year he was one of those guys we were high on going into camp and didn't. I think he kind of had the deer in the headlights look and didn't really perform at a level that we were expecting. I mean, going into the camp and, did make an all-star. He's an all-star level talent, but didn't make an all-star game last year. And, hopefully he comes out this year, and I know he's ready to redeem himself, so to speak, and come back and play the right way.
Yeah, Jerome's a really talented kid. I've been joined here in my studio by my niece, Riley Curry's got nothing on her. She is the word active. How about DeCorion Jeffries, a 2019 kid? I know I'm really pumped to see this guy perform at our camp.
Yeah, he's really good.
Lincoln Rosebush, another kid from Ontario, Canada. Kid you really like.
Yeah, Guelph, Ontario. He goes to, what's the name of his school? Guelph Collegiate and Vocational Technical School, or
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a long name, but
yeah, it's one you don't want to fill out every time you have to, fill out a sheet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, glad he's coming though from Canada. We love the Canadian.
Trenton Wofford. That last name I'm sure jumps out to most Indiana fans.
Well, when his brother hit that shot against Kentucky, I think he forever became, or Indiana fans were forever indebted to him for hitting that shot. So his little brother's coming to town. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Indiana fans that are coming out to see him. He's already got an offer from Alabama. He played varsity basketball as a freshman, or as an eighth grader. He played varsity basketball in Alabama at Shades Valley High School, and I think he had a 32-point, 20-rebound game as an eighth grader playing up on varsity. So he's a guy, Christian Wofford's little brother, former Indiana Hoosier. So I know he's a guy that will create a lot of buzz locally in Indiana that a lot of people will want to come see, and I'm sure Indiana will be on him as well in the near future, I'm sure.
Another guy sticking with the Indiana theme, very well-known 2018 prospect in Indiana, Kevin Easley from Lawrence North High School.
Yeah, he's going on the first day of camp. He's going to be at the Purdue elite camp, but he will be there on the second day, bright and early, ready to go. So he's going to be at the Purdue elite camp on the first day of camp, but we'll be there for day number 2.
And Kai Bates Diop, another kid that has a pretty talented older brother.
Yeah, older brother Keita Bates Diop plays at Ohio State University, also from that Illinois Wolves program that Kai plays for, and he's got a long growth spurt left in him. He's one of those guys that probably hasn't even hit his biggest spurt yet. So
moving down the list here, I think there's a kid out of Chicago here from Lindblom High School, Nasir Turner, who plays for Chicago Demons program. I think he is a kid that's kind of a sleeper right now. Jimmy Bean, another kid I know you like, 6'4" guard out of South Bend, Clay High School there in Indiana.
Yeah, we got two Beans in the bunch this year. We got Jimmy and we got Darius. They're actually cousins. So two talented, I guess talent runs in the family. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got a lot of guys with a lot of connections, bloodlines and things. I guess you're gifted with it or you're not, right?
Yeah, I think we both got passed over in that gene pool.
That's all right. That's why we give these guys the opportunity to come out and.
Absolutely. Michael Dawson giving us some West Virginia flavor along with Shane Snyder, a kid from Parkersburg South. Really intrigued by Michael Dawson. I think he's going to perform well at the camp. Trey Domes, kid out of Georgia. Think he's going to turn some heads as well. Darian Porch, kid from Pike High School in Indianapolis. Kind of an under-the-radar guy. And then Isaiah Thompson.
Some people in Indianapolis don't even know about him. That's maybe
I was kind of.
Maybe they'll hear about him after that.
I was kind of surprised about that. He's a really talented kid, 6'4" wing. Dexter Schaus, another talented kid from Indianapolis, actually from Terre Haute, Indiana, goes to Lawrence North High School. Isaiah Thompson, a kid that has a pretty good older brother. I know Brandon Williams out of Crespi High School there in California is a kid that you like.
Yeah, very talented. Probably, a high major kid down the road.
So there you have it. There's the 2015 CrossRoads Elite Invitational roster. We want to keep this as short as possible. I know we were kind of windy, but there's just so many kids to talk about, and there's so much stuff to say about them. All well-deserving. We're looking forward to it. I know I am. I'm excited to get out there and get the ball rolling. Anything you want to say before we roll out of here? And I know you're starving. I'm starving.
Yeah, I wish we could have filmed this outside so you could have seen the beauty of Alaska, the mountains, and the maybe had a moose or bear sighting. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Man, I don't want you getting eaten by a bear or anything before camp,
All right, I'll try not to.
Adam, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you here in a couple of weeks, and we're gonna get this thing rolling.
Hey, looking forward to it, man. Appreciate you.
All right, buddy.